Music history is full of contradictions, but few match the bands who made us physically uncomfortable, yet remained on permanent repeat. Awkward interviews, disastrous performances, and public meltdowns became legendary, but the songs never left our playlists. Here are 10 bands whose cringe moments became as famous as their hits. Hit subscribe and relive the awkwardness with us. Number 10, Limp Bizkit. The nu metal giants sold over 40 million albums worldwide, but their cringe moments became just as legendary as their music. At the 2003 Summer Sanitarium tour in Chicago, the crowd booed them off stage after roughly 20 minutes, pelting them with garbage while chanting obscenities at frontman Fred Durst. He erupted with homophobic slurs before walking off, delaying Metallica's set by 90 minutes. The Woodstock 1999 disaster cemented their reputation. With crowds already volatile from extreme heat, Durst encouraged fans to let out negative energy during their set, famously urging the crowd to release everything before launching into Break Stuff. The message was catastrophically misconstrued, and the festival descended into chaos. Despite endless mockery and documented meltdowns throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, tracks like Break Stuff and Rollin' dominated radio and MTV. The cringe was undeniable, but so were the plays.
It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked, everybody sucks.
Number 9, Nickelback. 50 million albums sold worldwide, a string of rock radio dominators. Yet Nickelback became the most hated band on the internet. The avalanche started around 2003 when comedian Brian Posehn joked on Comedy Central's Tough Crowd that listening to Nickelback made him want to kill Nickelback.
Talks about the studies that show that bad music makes people violent. Like Nickelback makes me want to kill Nickelback.
The clip ran as a promotional spot for months, spawning global mockery. By the late 2000s, their Wikipedia page was constantly vandalized. In 2011, over 55,000 people signed a petition demanding their removal from a Thanksgiving Day Detroit Lions NFL halftime show. The ultimate irony was impossible to ignore. How You Remind Me reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in December 2001 and was later named the most played song of the entire 2000s decade by Billboard magazine, with 1.2 million spins. Dark Horse was certified triple platinum. They were simultaneously the most mocked and most commercially successful rock band of their era. Number 8, Insane Clown Posse. Detroit's horrorcore rap duo proudly claimed the title of the most hated band in the world, yet built an entertainment empire without mainstream support or radio airplay. Several gold and platinum albums proved their devoted Juggalo fanbase didn't need industry validation. Then April 2010 happened. Their music video for Miracles hit YouTube and became an instant laughingstock. The line about magnets and how they work became one of the most mocked lyrics in internet history, with everyone from Saturday Night Live to Stephen Colbert piling on. The cringe deepened when Nightline journalist Martin Bashir interviewed them in 2010. Violent J later stated, Bashir took their statements completely out of context, pairing responses with different questions than originally asked. Despite the relentless mockery, ICP's gathering of the Juggalos Festival continued drawing tens of thousands annually. Their fans embraced the outsider status, turning the cringe into a badge of honor. The music kept playing, and the Juggalos never wavered.
We hear it grace from your brother. I pull a 40 out and bust up for your little brother.
Number 7, the Bee Gees.
You need to show how deep in your love is.
One of the best-selling groups of all time, with over 220 million records sold and a string of disco anthems that defined the late 70s. Their Saturday Night Fever soundtrack alone sold 40 million copies worldwide. By 1997, the Gibb brothers had nothing left to prove. Then they sat down with British television host Clive Anderson on October 30th, 1997 for what became one of the most painfully awkward interviews in TV history. Anderson repeatedly poked fun at their former fashions, their falsetto vocals, and their disco legacy. When Anderson joked that they would always be less tossers to him, Barry Gibb had enough. He stood up, made clear that Anderson had called him a tosser, and walked off the set mid-interview.
Oh, I've never had anyone walk out before, but...
we are a tosser, pal. So anyway, everybody.
His two brothers immediately followed, leaving Anderson alone with empty chairs and a stunned studio audience. Despite the cringe factor, Stayin' Alive, How Deep Is Your Love, and Night Fever never stopped playing at weddings, parties, and radio stations worldwide. Number 6. Blur.
When she lets me slip
Britpop royalty, with 5 consecutive #1 albums in the UK and worldwide. Critical acclaim throughout the 90s. Their rivalry with Oasis defined an entire era of British music. Song 2 became an international anthem, crossing over to American audiences who couldn't get enough of the woohoo hook. Behind the polished image, chaos lurked. When eccentric Canadian music journalist Nardwuar interviewed the band, frontman Damon Albarn grew increasingly hostile throughout the session. The encounter was caught on camera and widely circulated as one of the more uncomfortable band interviews of the decade.
Come on, mate. Okay.
The contrast was jarring for fans who admired Blur's intelligent art school approach to rock music. Despite the embarrassment, Parklife went 5 times platinum in the UK. Their influence on bands like Pulp, Suede, and later Arctic Monkeys remained undeniable. Before we continue, which of these cringe moments do you remember watching live? Did you witness the Limp Bizkit Woodstock chaos or cringe through that Bee Gees interview in real time? Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from.
Oh, it's something special.
Number 5. 9 Inch Nails. Industrial rock pioneers who redefined heavy music in the 90s with brutally honest albums like The Downward Spiral and Pretty Hate Machine. Trent Reznor became known for uncompromising artistic vision and dark, aggressive soundscapes that influenced everyone from Marilyn Manson to Linkin Park. In 2012, rediscovered footage surfaced showing 9 Inch Nails performing on Dance Party USA in the late 80s. The contrast was absurd beyond belief. Reznor himself commented on the clip on social media, explaining they were asked what TV shows they would be interested in appearing on, and as a joke, and likely drunk, they picked the most ridiculous choice imaginable. The footage shows Reznor belting out aggressive lyrics, while teenage dancers in neon clothing awkwardly attempted to move to industrial music clearly designed for anything but dancing. Despite the laughable TV placement, 9 Inch Nails went on to sell over 20 million records worldwide. The Downward Spiral was certified quadruple platinum, proving the Dance Party USA appearance was a bizarre footnote, not a career killer.
Don't easily say less and less. I just shoot away.
Number 4. Weezer.
Know me if you want to destroy my sweater.
The kings of nerdy alternative rock sold millions of albums with their Blue Album and Pinkerton becoming generation-defining records in the 90s. Rivers Cuomo became an unlikely rock star, blending power pop melodies with deeply personal, awkward lyrics. Unfortunately, his stage persona matched the lyrical discomfort. Cuomo developed a reputation for disastrous interviews, with his appearance on Australian show Recovery standing as particularly brutal. He claimed jet lag while visibly shutting down every question host Dylan Lewis asked. His energy oscillated between bored and hostile, snapping back at attempts to engage him in conversation. The secondhand embarrassment was overwhelming. Despite the chronic interview awkwardness, Weezer's music remained beloved. Say It Ain't So, Buddy Holly, and Island in the Sun became anthems for misfits everywhere. The Blue Album was certified 4 times platinum by the RIAA, proving fans forgave the interviews as long as the songs kept delivering. Number 3. Kiss. The makeup-wearing rock icons sold over 100 million albums worldwide and became one of the most commercially successful bands in history. Gene Simmons cultivated a larger-than-life persona built on excess, ego, and shameless self-promotion. That persona crossed into painful territory during his 2002 appearance on NPR's Fresh Air. Between bragging about his wealth and propositioning interviewer Terry Gross, Simmons turned a respected interview program into an uncomfortable spectacle. Gross later described the exchange in her book, All I Did Was Ask, and the interview became notorious enough that Simmons refused to allow it to be posted online. The cringe didn't stop there. On The Joy Behar Show in 2011, Simmons' longtime partner Shannon Tweed walked off the set mid-interview when the conversation turned to his continual infidelity.
Thanks for the question.
I'm sorry. You're blaming it on me? Don't put this on me.
Squirming uncomfortably on camera as she yelled at him from offstage. Despite Gene's endless embarrassing moments, Kiss remained untouchable commercially. Rock and Roll All Night, Detroit Rock City, and I Was Made for Lovin'. You never left classic rock radio rotation. Number 2, Aerosmith.
Sing women, sing for the year, sing for the land, sing for the deer.
Boston's Bad Boys of Rock sold over 150 million albums worldwide and dominated rock radio for 5 decades with hits like Dream On, Walk This Way, and Sweet Emotion. Steven Tyler's raspy vocals and the band's blues rock foundation influenced countless hard rock acts. By 2001, they were rock royalty. Their decision to headline Super Bowl 35 halftime show alongside NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly became one of the most debated moments in rock history. Watching Tyler mix it up with pop royalty while Aerosmith tried desperately to stay relevant was deeply uncomfortable for longtime fans. Critics and fans alike questioned the performance, noting the painful contrast between Aerosmith's gritty rock legacy and the manufactured pop spectacle surrounding them. Rock purists noted the irony that Tyler, who once embodied rock and roll excess, was now sharing a stage with the era's biggest pop acts. Despite the controversy, Aerosmith's classic hits never stopped playing. The legacy was secure.
I go on, close my eyes. I know I'm
Number 1, the Sex Pistols.
I'll take the queen. A fascist regime.
December 1st, 1976, Thames Television in London. Host Bill Grundy sat down with the Sex Pistols for what he assumed would be a typical promotional interview for a punk band most viewers had never heard of. Instead, he got one of the most controversial television moments in British history. Grundy, visibly antagonistic, goaded guitarist Steve Jones to say something outrageous. Jones responded by calling Grundy a dirty rotter on live early evening television.
Got another 5 seconds. Say something outrageous.
You dirty bar.
Go on, again.
You dirty.
What?
The nation was scandalized. Switchboards lit up with complaints. Newspapers ran front-page stories demanding action. The interview caused an immediate national controversy, with Grundy suspended for 2 weeks and the Sex Pistols becoming household names overnight. Ironically, the cringe chaos accelerated their fame rather than destroying it. Nevermind the Bollocks became one of the most influential punk albums ever released, going to number 1 in the UK despite radio bans. 40 years later, it remains legendary television. Sometimes the most uncomfortable moments create the most lasting legacies.
Hey.